I was asked which one of my fur baby is my favorite. They won't tell, and I know it's an impossible question to answer, and I will answer that. So I feel like, okay, I know probably no one will say this, but I feel like it really depends on my day and my mood. And I know it sounds terrible. It's so selfish of me, my mood. But it really just depends on what they're up to that day. If they're being a little mischievous or like just giving me a hard time, then obviously they're not going to be my favorite that day. But if they are great children and they've been behaving or they're giving all the loving, then they'll be my favorite for that day. But I also kind of like pick a favorite of the day, kind of a dealio. But yeah. What inspired me to start my YouTube channel? So honestly, I've been wanting to start it for a really, really, really long time, but I couldn't figure out what kind of content I wanted to make and obviously to be consistent with it and all that great fun stuff. But I got to a point where I realized I'm going to be like every other vlog channel out there. So essentially I'm just going to be uploading obviously compilations of like TikToks of my cats, my dogs, just me talking shenanigans, me answering more questions like these, me taking you on like journeys I'll be taking in the future, all like all kinds of fun stuff. Aside from that is what to expect from this channel going forward. To initially answer the question is what inspired me is actually one of my supporters from my Tribunal of the Grid page. We have a podcast. I have a podcast with two other friends, Brandon and Will. They are lovely people, and we have a podcast that gets released every single Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Central Time. So obviously, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to any platform that you listen to your podcast. So that would be Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and even SoundCloud. Wow, I blanked there for a second. But anyways, YouTube, all of the above. So go ahead, subscribe to us, give us all the likes, give us all the thumbs up, tell a friend, do all the things. So we're here for this. Derek Harvey, the best supporter out there, encouraged me to actually be more active on my Instagram. I have an Instagram page for my cats, for my dogs, but not for myself because, long story short, I just don't want another page to take care of. And I just didn't think I was that interesting enough, So Derek essentially encouraged me to be on social media more often. And I just realized, like, I have so much BS and, like, fun shit to share with everyone. So I did a poll. And I was really hoping nobody would actually say yes. I really was. I don't know why. And everyone basically said yes. They would support my YouTube channel if I decided to start one. And so now here we are. So what has been your most memorable moment since starting your Instagram page? Well, it was initially, and it still is, mainly made for my cats. So it's just like cat pictures, cat videos, just all my cats, So I have 3 cats named Lena Moon, Shadow Moon, and Solar Moon. Solar Moon is coming home at the end of December, so we'll get to meet her very, very soon. But I would probably say since I've been back on, it is so welcoming. And obviously I didn't want to confuse people, so I actually created a close friends Instagram story so that way I can connect with everybody and still be on it and not have to create a second page. And I was surprised that a lot of people wanted me to add you onto my close friends page. I was really expecting nobody, literally nobody. So it's probably that is the most memorable, most humble moment I've ever gotten on social media. So thank you so much, you guys, and thank you for following my journey on this YouTube page and on my Instagram stories where I ask the freaking weather I ask Alexa the weather every freaking day, just because why the heck not? And I'm surprised that you guys would actually want to see more of me doing that. So I'm going to continue that little series. So of course, Derek has to support me on this journey. So he also asked a question. He asked, have you been to the United States and where have you visited in your travels? Well, I have actually been to the United States many times. I would probably, okay, my most favorite memory is obviously meeting Brennan in Los Angeles at the POWERSOLARPUPS in like 2014 or something like that. I don't really remember, either 2014, 2016, because we went the following year again together this time around. And then that was where he essentially was like, we should start a podcast. And I was like, okay. And that actually leads into our next question, where someone had actually asked, what made you want to start a podcast? Well, I never had any intentions of starting. So during this trip for POWERSOLARPUPS, Brandon was like, hey, Lena, I've been thinking of starting a podcast. Would you be interested in it if I did? And I was like, hells yeah. Like, where do I sign up? So obviously that is how Tribe Below the Grid was born. And 3 years later, almost 100 episodes later, we are still going strong. And yeah, that's the kind of obviously what led into this particular journey of me starting this YouTube channel. To answer your question though, I've been to Albuquerque, I've been to Florida, I've been to obviously many parts in California. I've been to Lexington, Kentucky for conventions. I mostly just traveled to the States for conventions. New York for fun. I actually got a tattoo, my very first tattoo in New York City. That was wild. Okay, not really, but it was wild for me, you know. But yeah, I've been to Boston, Philadelphia, even actually where Will is from. Where else? Like, I've been to quite a few different places in the United States of America. And oh, my favorite, North Carolina, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, love. Where else? Like, I just been to so many places that I lose track of it. But I have to like literally look back and make like a list. And if I do, I'll make you a list. Another one of my like, and the Tribe of the Grid page supporter is Byron. He actually asked me, do I think Power Rangers can be as big as DC and Marvel? Honestly, I would love Power Rangers to be as big as DC and Marvel. And we talked about it many, many times on our show too. We would love it to be mainstream. We would love it for it to be like as big as Marvel and as big as DC. It would be pretty awesome. And I hope that one day it does get there. I hope that Hasbro makes it there, because I feel like ever since they've taken over, we're heading the direction we would like to be heading. Obviously, we still have a long way to go, but you know what? Never say never. Another question that Byron asks is, how would you fix Power Rangers Megaforce and Super Megaforce? Megaforce. Okay. I'm just going to answer this like this. I'm not going to fix anything about it, because you know what? At the end of the day, if I do try to fix it, it is literally going to be my opinion, and people are going to still come after me. And the Power Ranger fandoms is just because everyone has an opinion, and they're not going to always agree with your opinion. Some people may agree, but most won't agree. So then it just turns into a whole like back and forth. And honestly, I'm not really here for it. Like, I'm just here to enjoy the good times. I don't really like Super Megaforce or Megaforce by any means, but that's just my opinion. And there are people out there that absolutely loves it, right? And that's their opinion, and that's absolutely fine. But I just don't think I need to fix it. I think it is the way it was. It was meant to be the way it was. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this debate. So I was asked, Why did I choose Luna, Shadow, and Solar's name? Okay, so long story short. My brother and I ended up getting Luna together. So Lena was supposed to be our cat, but she's only my cat now. But anyways, Luna was supposed to be our cat. And initially when she came home, I won, what the heck is won? I won a coin toss and I was supposed to name her Moon. So her name was just supposed to be Moon. But then the next day my brother woke up and was like, can we call her Luna Moon? And I was like, you know what? I kind of like that name, Moon Moon or Luna Moon, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. We'll go with it. And then a year later, I decided to get another cat for Luna because her sibling, Miko Hunter, actually passed away, the bunny. So I felt really bad for her. She seemed so alone. And she was such a kitten back then too. So I needed to get her a friend. So ever since I was a little girl, I've been obsessed with this movie. I cannot remember what movie it is called now, but it's a Chinese movie on one of those, Chinese channels that happens like every Saturday. Anyhow, one of the main character, she had like she was cloned or something like that. I can't remember the story and I have to look it up. But anyways, one of her name was Rainbow. One of her other name was Shadow. And I was obsessed with the name Shadow, like obsessed. So I was like, you know what? If I get another black cat, I'm gonna name it Shadow Moon because I really want to stick with the moon theme. And if I get a girl, then I would name her Solar Moon, but she would have to be white. So I let it be in the universe. Whatever happened. So a boy black cat happened to come my way. So because he happened to be a boy and a black cat, I decided to name him Shadow Moon. And I wanted I was obsessed with the moon at the end after that. And then obviously it's been another year later and my heart, well, more like my sister, heavily encouraged me to get another kitten because she can't say no to kittens. And obviously I can't say no to kittens. So we happened to find a white kitten, not completely white, but mostly white. And obviously I had to name her Solar Moon because she had to be like the eclipse essentially. But yeah, so that's how their names came along. And I'm really happy with it. And obviously, again, I'm obsessed with the moon, not the new moon part at the end, because now they're basically part of like the whole galaxy theme. Because I'm so obsessed with the whole galaxy theme, I even named my new car Nova Moon. I know. I'm a weirdo, right? But yes, that is how their names came to be. Finally, the last question of this Q&A, it's been so much fun, is also from Derek. He asked, any favorite horror or suspense movies? Honestly, I don't have one. Like, I did ask, it's funny, I even asked my sister who, like, I literally talk to, like, every freaking day for, like, hours and on sometimes. I don't really have anything that I'm, like, I talk about long term. Like, I'll have, like, something I'll watch once, I'll talk about for, like, a couple of weeks if I really like it. And then after that, I just move on to the next one. So I can't really say I have a favorite one. But one of the movie series I always usually go back to that I find I really enjoy still is scary movies. I mean, I know they're not really horror, but it works. And Scream. Love Scream. And of course, I Know What You Did Last Summer series. Love those movies.